There are a lot of bogus claims out there about springs and their properties and how you experience them in the Pilates world, and it's really frustrating. But I get it. The internet hates nuance, and we all want an easy way to describe what's happening as we're working out. Now, I want to propose a new way to talk about spring behavior. I'm not saying that I'm changing anything about springs. They still always get heavier as you stretch them. But sometimes when the springs get heavier, it helps you do the exercise. And sometimes when the springs get heavier, it makes it harder. So let's look through that lens to apply the labels supportive spring behavior or resistive spring behavior. So here are two examples. If you were to take bridging on the reformer, this is a great example of supportive spring behavior. This is because if you add more weight, it's easier to keep the carriage closed. So more weight is helping you. If you were to look at, say, chest expansion, the spring behavior there is resistive because adding more weight makes it harder to do the exercise, to move your arms. Now, of course, there are caveats. There are some exercises like short box abs where changing the springs has no effect on how hard or easy the exercise is. And there are some exercises where you can apply supportive spring behavior to make the exercise intention one thing, or you could treat them as resistive to make the exercise intention another thing. An example of that would be feet and straps. If you want to challenge the hip flexors and the abs a little bit more, the springs are supportive because adding more weight helps you keep your legs in the air. If you wanted to challenge your hip extensors more in feet and straps, then the spring behavior would be resistive because pulling the weight down is challenging the hip extensors and more weight makes it harder. Now, I love this definition because it sticks true to the laws of physics. Springs get heavier the more they're stretched, no matter what. But it allows for nuance while still being clear and relatively simple with two labels about what's happening in this exercise. And the whole reason that I love this label is because it helps me as an instructor adjust springs during a session. If someone is having a hard time with an exercise, I know whether I need to add more weight or subtract weight based on whether the springs are helping them or making it harder for them. So that's just putting a couple of labels onto how springs interact with the body during a session.